This is Deb Helfrich, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk. I'm the founder of hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy, and I am the apex intellect on Earth at this particular moment. When it comes, see, never. Every time I try to tell people something, they interrupt with their limited, linear. I'm the apex intellect about consciousness, which, given that consciousness is the most complex, we don't have a word for what consciousness is. Consciousness is the complexity of the entirety of everything that exists. And I've sorted that hard problem into an easy pivot. Not just sorted the hard problem into string theories and dark matter and these physicists. They're so good at the symbolism of it all, the math and the measurement. They forget to measure the measurer themselves. They have these subjective orientations that they completely can't see. We need to stop consulting the physicists for a while. Just for a while. I'm going to come back to them. And consult a wise feminine philosopher. Now, I've just been reading a guy, Gazzaniga, who has Michael Gazzaniga, book, The Consciousness Instinct. He was going all together, and then he ended up using the complementarity of wave-particle duality to as a corollary, a parallel to the mind-body duality. Remember, my whole point as a philosopher is to reunite the Cartesian split and bring the soul back in. I really like making these morning videos with the sun. Do a little bit of like jokerness with the shades and whatnot. I'm not crazy. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are delusional because you're living in a faulty, flawed, and fraudulent paradigm that doesn't put you as the pinnacle of evolution so far. Consciousness has always existed. This is the interconnection, the not being separate, all that stuff. Our concept of how we persist, very it's just like our concept of God, very similar to us. Very much into this small paradigm. It's not particularly easy to think beyond everything that's ever been thought. Okay? Please, sweetie. I know my dog has trauma, and she expresses it in licking. I have nothing but financial distress. I am in embodied bliss because I am the apex intellect on this planet. And I'm documenting this whole journey of how no other human will help me put a roof over my head so I can save the future of our species. Now, again, you want to, I think there's some psychiatry diagnoses that might say I'm a little bit full of myself. Myself, in one of those optical illusions kind of situations, has, just like there's the photo and it's in the Consciousness Instinct. You go get this book. You won't. I have done the math for you. I've done the logic for you. Sorry. That was doubt. Math is dead. That is science. This is the fundamental problem. You cannot use the tools that consciousness created to help us understand a dead reality of stuff in the world to explain life. We got some good data on life, but the overall assumptions are far too linear and mechanistic. Life, pretty extraordinarily multidimensional. 5 of them. Consciousness is the 5th force. The 5th state of matter. Consciousness is its own state of matter, i.e., alive matter. Mechanical, chemical, electrical, magnetic, consciousness, 5 forces. Solid, liquid, gas, plasma. Thank you, Eileen. Biofield tuning is the real deal. 5th state of matter, she says, is ether. I say it's consciousness. There's that word etheric. Now, the challenge is that she's still in the mechanistic paradigm, and ether is the fields. Well, no, fields isn't even, again, in states of matter, ether, the medium of everything, is consciousness. Now, some things on Earth and throughout the solar system cannot move, nor reproduce, nor evolve. You need all 3 of those. This book, Consciousness Instinct, he got the first 2, that life has to reproduce and evolve. This is the second 2. 2 and 3. But he forgot that life has to move. That's where his assumption that the complementarity of quantum physics, particle wave duality, is also parallel to mind-body duality. There's no such thing as mind-body duality. That is a framework we've set up back when we didn't have enough data. That again, I've been in your mind state. I've seen the challenge in saying the world that we touch is very, very Newtonian physics based. And then we've got this quantum reality that doesn't work like that. We've got these lives that we lead in a framework of plantation capitalism. And if y'all will listen to me and get all this shit straight, we will overthrow plantation capitalism, demolish racism by 2030. I'm not playing how quickly we could start changing everything. And most humans, just like as it happened in the Einstein, Niels Bohr, Schrodinger's cat, Heisenberg. Y'all love you some Heisenberg. Get me you seen you break your bad. You seen you Better Call Saul. Thank you, Michael McKean, my Carnegie Mellon alumni, for the absolutely brilliant portrayal. He got those of us who suffer from the invisible aspects of a poisoned consciousness. hyperacute sensory overwhelm is for real. Do we sense it? Because, as he in this series so accurately portrayed, he had no love in his life. This is what I'm fighting. The lack of love, the lack of any human. And I have said that cares. And I think your definition of cares and my definition of cares is different. But nobody cares that I stay alive. That's why I have been on the verge of dying like an entire decade. Don't make me say these things out loud. You know, all these people tell me to watch my language and they just don't know. You can't be going around telling adults, trying to actually talk to you about exactly how the universe works to watch their language. Can't do that. Because I know exactly what language is necessary and what language is poisonous. I can help you learn that too. Have you evaporated an entire human's worth of weight that you carried around your entire life? Were you strong enough to carry around 200 extra pounds? Because that was necessary insulation for me to go through this migration that we're going through right now. Hitting 11 months of fucking homelessness. You know, parking on the fucking street. I haven't had a night's sleep. Boom to that you can't stock up on sleep. You can't. I did do. I would like to get some sleep. I would like to find an investor. This all been for you. The journey with me. If I can ask you to please, because you have been so gracious and shown so much interest, and I think you really want to be part of having the wise feminine sit all the men down. This is history. This is history. There is whole consciousness, physics. I mean, women just aren't in the historical record. And I'm going to shift that once and for all. I only was able to do this if I had been in academia, if I had people see my intellect and try and shape it and conform it and make it fit into the current worldview. That I am strong enough to have never believed a single lie that was ever told to me. That's because what I'm a genius in. And I'm pretty good at y'all's world. I mean, I told the state of Ohio at 15 they got their math wrong and I was going to graduate in 3 years. How many of y'all just accepted you needed 4 years to graduate high school? Not I. And then when I took the GRE, I didn't know what to study. I felt like done as far as formal studies, BA, philosophy. That's good. I got it. I took the GRE. And I was actually better at the math part than I think I would be. And actually slightly worse, although still at the English part. Because I am hyperlexic. I use the English language like you don't know. You don't know. There goes our son. Oh, that's a nice look. A bit. Anyway, let me finish up. I'm asking you to walk with me. I'm asking you to be a co-founder. I'm asking you to be my business mind. I'm asking you to figure out who can we get an investment from to get me in an Airbnb for like 3 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months. Let's have at least 4 months, okay, please. I gotta get some sleep. And then we'll figure it out. Look, I've got this whole stand-up philosophy career. That's the easy one. This is the easy one. Get me a Netflix deal. Or Oprah. Let's get me to Oprah. Harpo, exec. I've got a feature film, Londolozi. That's the key point in getting us all thinking about how we need to think about demolishing racism by 2030. A lot to do with the sun. That's why we're going to Africa. A lot to do with the cruciality, the essentialness of melanin to life, all life, to consciousness. Consciousness and melanin, both crucial to the philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity. This is billions of IP. This has changed everything on the entire planet thing. And the framework we live in is set up to completely deny a human can be able to do this, which is use their own thinking equipment to be like what's valid and what's not. I'm succeeding for everyone who's out there who trusts the vibrations and the energy that they read, their intuitions. I would like to go straight to Bozoma St. John. Just left Netflix. It's perfect timing. All right. I'm asking in no uncertain terms if you will walk with me until we can together find somebody else to walk with me. My life is at stake. Once my life is no longer at stake, then let's negotiate. Co-founders or, a percentage of whatever money comes in. I asked Cindy Gallup to help me get $3 million. I think $3 million will do it. I don't know. It's all intuition. The numbers, math is dead. Nietzsche said God is dead. Nobody really just put that in their brain. The truth. The teacher of my teacher at Carnegie Mellon, David Carrier, his teacher, Arthur Danto, in the early 70s wrote that art is dead, from Warhol. Deb, how'd you get so apex intellect smart? I studied Brillo boxes and tomato soup cans. Warhol, when he bought those items in the corner store and then walked them like halfway down the block and sat them in a gallery and made them worth 500 times more. That's what this brain can do. Money from nothing. This chick is not free. I want my MTV. Harmony.